I'll lay you down on the mat gently. Here I
come! Welcome! This is Top Tier Tips. Greetings everyone, this is Force Nature Top Tier Tips, and I welcome you to your prime spot for tips and tricks to help you level up at Dead or Alive 6. In this session, we're going to be looking at the girl of 1,000 dreams, Tina Armstrong. Alright, you may know her father, the legendary heavyweight wrestler Bass Armstrong, but in this case, Tina's entire role in his life is just to be a major headache to him. I mean, the big guy just can't keep up with this girl who has like a billion ambitions. I mean, she wants to be governor too. Tina's for players that like to throw people around and would like decent striking ability to go along with it. Alright, think of Tina as kind of the reverse as Mila. Mila has like really good striking ability and kind of like okay like throwing ability or anything like that, whereas Tina has like okay striking but like really good throws. Like that's just damage on normal hit right there. Anyways, once you're done Tina's command training, and combo challenge, then you're ready to bot fools online and become president of the world. Not quite. It's to take a little bit more than that to become president of the world. Alright, what you're trying to achieve with Tina in a match in a general sense is to try and fish for a counter hit stun. I'm not necessarily meaning something as simple as like a 6P, because Tina's 6P is 13 frames, so that's just not really very fast. But what I want you to do is try and fish for something like with your strings. Something as simple as like 6 PPPK. Then when you get the counter hit launch, then you can do a little juggle there with 4T, then 2T. But the main thing though is that you want like the opponent to basically kind of try and fear that. You can get the launch from the knee, the PPPK. Same thing, same juggle. So what you do now is you're conditioning the opponent for that. So you're trying to get them to go for a hold, because with Tina, when she stuns you, it's really scary. So if the opponent like tries to hold or something like that, then they can eat a crazy amount of damage. Like she has like just a couple throws that can do. She has like a couple throws that can do like ridiculous amounts of damage. This is just like counter throw damage. That's not even high counter, but I'll end up going over her throws a little later. So I'll just let you know right now that Tina's neutral game in general, like close or far, isn't really that good. However, her striking speeds are okay. I mean, like she's got decent speeds by grappler standards. They're slow by striker standards, but decent by grappler standards. I'm about to put in your best friend in training mode, the move details box, also known as the skill info, and let's see what Tina's packing. Alright, she's got 11 frame jab, 13 frame elbow, 18 frame knee, but she's got a 15 frame 3K and a 14 frame 4K, which you're going to be using more often than 6K, and she's got a 14 frame 2P, so it's a 11 frame jab, 13 frame elbow, and a 14 frame 2P that's 0 or neutral on normal hit. So these are okay striking speeds, and to help you out in close, along with their 14 frame 2P, she also has a 15 frame track and low. It doesn't have any follow-ups, and it is negative on neutral hits, so you're going to be trying to connect it on counter hit. Even on neutral hits, okay, because the thing is that it kind of... The main point of this is to try and halt the opponent's offense while also catching anyone that like tries to sidestep, for instance. And with Tina's strike speeds, you're going to have to assume a defensive playstyle at the start of rounds or whenever you're kind of in close range neutral when fighting a striker character, because when you've got an 11 frame jab and like a 13 frame elbow, those speeds are not really good for trying to fish for counter hits, or definitely not like trying to like start initiating the offense, because you're gonna have to wait to see how the opponent with a 9 or 10 frame jab or 11-12 frame mid have speed priority over you, so you're gonna have to wait to see how they pressure you. And if they do something that's like negative on block, like -7 or anything like that, then you can get a guaranteed forward throw, because Tina has grappler throws. But if it's anything less, let's say like -5 or like -5 or 6 or anything like that, then you can or even like -3 or something, then you can use that opportunity to try and fish for either a stun or to try and fish for that launcher, either with 6 PPK or PPPK. Those are the two recommended strings. With those ones, you really want to get that launcher because her 3-3K launcher right there, which is the same one. You see, it's a 15 frame mid kick with a jump in property, so it's a jump in mid kick and a 15 frame launcher, so that is quite fast. And on counter hit, it always allows you to get the 4T. Then you can go for the ground throw right there. And if you just get the timing down, then the opponent basically cannot escape this when you end up doing it, unless you like do it too late, like I'm doing right now. Yeah, right there, you get that. And I mean, I admit that used to do a lot more damage. You can actually used to be able to get that off normal hit, but they did kind of patch that because they thought it was too good. So now only on counter hit launch. And as you can guess, once the opponent is tired of getting hit by this launcher, they're probably going to be trying to hold mid kick. Then you can sneak in this bad boy right here. This is half circle T, and it does like a tremendous amount of damage on either normal hit, counter hit, or like high counter. So that new half circle throw she has is really deadly because that complements another throw that she'd have off of her, let's say, while rising. So for instance, if you're doing a move that leaves you in crouch, you can do forward 6T instead, and you get this throw which comes out in 11 frames as opposed to 16 frames, and it gives like a tremendous amount of damage. So if you're able to hit those throws on high counter, if you're able to hit those throws on high counter against your opponent, I'd say that's mission accomplished with Tina. But now you'd probably like some strings that you can kind of toss out. So generally jab speed or her 6 PP is good, because with her 6 PP, like if the opponent's just like standing there blocking this, you can stop at 6 PP, because if they end up blocking the whole string, you'll be left at -15 and you can't get punished. So with her 6 PP string, you can bail out with a very delayable low. With 6 PP, 2P, there's also 6 PP, no, not that one. Yes, you also can do a low drop kick also. It's a lot slower, but you see, this is, if the opponent blocks this whole thing, you'll be at -10, it can be low thrown. So if you don't think they're going to like try and interrupt or anything like that, or try and sidestep, because of course this move tracks. Then you have a 6 PP 2K right there as a guard break, leaves you at +1. I mean, yeah, you can't do anything with it, but it's still frame advantage despite the pushback, which is always nice. But for strings in close, there isn't really a whole lot. Like this one can be really gimmicky. Her 7 PP string, so your 6 PP string is pretty nice. You also have her 4 PP string. This one though is mainly used, so it's a 15 frame move to try and catch people, for instance, that try and sidestep. If it does get blocked, then you can be left at +19, which is a lot of frame advantage. But it can become a bit predictable because it's just 3 mid punches. But it is still an option. For this, just do the first 2 hits just to keep people in check to try to sidestep Tina. And if you manage to hit 4 PPP on an opponent's block fully charged, you can get a free H+K launch. Just follow it with the half circle air throw. Alright, for when you do get a chance to go on the offense, as opposed to going for the 6 PPK or PPPK, if you'd like some safe poking, you can do like PPK is only -2, 6 PP, 6K is -5, 6K is -5, so stuff like that is safe. If anything like this connects on an opponent, you'll notice the combo throw on the screen. Press the throw button right as that happens, and you can get a free follow-up. Like Tina has a bunch of hit throws like that. Like her K also has one. Right, just simply hit the throw button, PK, And she has a new one in her 7K, which can do tremendous damage if you can get the fault of 7K. Like right there, 90 damage, and I think that's just on normal hits. So this new 7K is kind of ridiculous, and I think it has a close hit property also. Though the timing on the 7K can be a little awkward because it's a really it's either a really small window or you need to be positioned pretty correctly. So I find the other hit throws to be easier to connect. But if you can like get this one down, then it can like do like tremendous damage. Like it's 110 on close hit, so that move is kind of ridiculous. If you'd like the opponents to remember to check their ankles, use either 2KK because it's also got a fault right there that causes a knockdown, or just 1K which goes straight into the knockdown. And if the opponent for some reason does a stand and hold, you can nail him with this throw. See, that's the non-high counter version of the throw where Tina ends up jumping over. I'll just show you later, but you see right there, that's just 80 damage for some reason if the opponent did a high hold. But keep in mind that after this, the opponent, or after like 2KK, the opponent might try and low hold, so that's when you have to try and go for a low throw. For go-to high crushes with Tina, you primarily use her 1P, 1K, or 2P. For low crushes, you can use 2H plus K. I like 6H plus K because this one usually gives you a guaranteed ground throw if you get it every time, if you can just get the time in right away. So this one's pretty nice anytime you think the opponent's gonna go for a low, or if you think you can intercept something, then you can use 6H plus K. For any other low crushes, 3K is okay, but if you want a low crush poke, definitely highly recommend 4K. Like this move is just really good. Honestly, this is just basically your go-to poke with Tina is her 4K. I guess 14 frames. It leaves you back turn advantage on hit. If it gets blocked, you're only -5. Depending on what the opponent does, you're generally gonna actually have to be defensive. You could, if someone is a bit, if they don't necessarily like always retaliate right away, then you can try and sneak in that move right there. That's like 7K. See that this move is mainly just an intercept, like it's her 11 frame mid kick. But at -5, the opponent can try and jab. So because it's leave you back turn, a favorite thing I'd like to do is just simply do 4-4. So, but this poke is just like really good, just like Lisa's 3K. Tina's forward roll with 2P plus K is also good for high crushing. It's got a couple options out of there. So you can do like 2P plus KP and do like a 6 PPP and try and go for a ground throw if the opponent does not do a tech roll. And you also can get the same move as 6P plus K, even though the properties are a little different. Like on block 6, H plus K is normally -9, so her forward block plus kick. But if you do it out of the roll, you end up getting a guard break and you're only left at -4, so you can't be punished at all. I'll just give you a hint that this move can be really good on wake up because it starts as a high crush and becomes a low crush, and it's really quick. It becomes a low crush pretty quickly, so this is really good for punishing opponents that like to do the low wake up kick or the low wake up comeback kick a lot. So yeah, I like these options out of it. If you do go for the punch option, you'll be unsafe at -11, so you definitely, under most circumstances, you're going to be using the kick option, or just simply do a roll then try and bait the while rising 6-4T throw. As for, I'm going to be looking at Tina's guard breaks right now. Another guard break that actually serves as a really good low crush is her 8K. See right here, it leaves her at +6. It looks like it's kicking the opponent in the face, but it's actually a mid kick, so it's really kicking them in like the boob or something. So this move is +6, but if it does connect, this move has a freaking close hit property. Look at that, that's 55 damage on close hit, and you'll feel like a complete badass whenever that hits. So this is a nice move if you want to if you have a little bit of advantage and you want to do a guard break on an opponent's block. So I like 8K. For other guard breaks, you have 4-6P right there. Leaves you at +1, so that means your jab becomes 10 frame, your elbow becomes 12 frames, your 2P becomes 13 frames, so you can end up using jab strings or elbow strings on there to again try and fish for a hold, or to try and fish for your favorite launcher. So this I like this guard break though. For other guard breaks, when Tina is back turn, you see right there, you can end up setting up a ground splat, and I should be able to. Oh no, you can't get a guaranteed ground throw, but the opponent basically has to tech roll immediately in order to avoid it. So it's still a good guard break though. I mean, right here, like, so Tina's gonna be left at +4. It's not as crazy as Lisa's own kind of moonsault guard break, but really any frame advantage is nice, because with +4, your jabs, your elbows, your knees, even like another 4K. All this basically will not be intercepted. Well, alright, this can be intercepted by like fast jabs or anything like that, but generally your own jab or your own elbow is probably not going to get intercepted after that if you end up pressing right away. And one of the other reasons to play Tina, big booty move. Look at that. If you end up throwing out Tina's booty from far range, and if you can end up getting that move to connect on the opponent's block, you'll be left at +3. So again, your jabs and your elbows are all free to toss out, so you get buttons. If you do it from close range, though, it has a lot of recovery, so you actually will leave yourself at like negative. But if you toss it out at range, at just the right range, you can get a bit of advantage. It can vary from +1 up to +3. That's because this move has a tremendous amount of active frames. Like if you look in the first brackets, the move has at least 11 active frames. So the active frame that connects on block, obviously the later that it connects on block, the more advantage you'll get. So right there as this neutral, which is still okay. But the main thing you want to do is that if you can do that where you're at least neutral or positive, then that's good. Then you can get in and try and you can just try and pressure the opponent, or even like try and like sneak in a throw if you want like quick damage or anything like that. But the main thing though is that anytime when you don't really have to be on the defensive with Tina is a good thing, because Tina and like most grapplers generally don't like being on the defensive. Like, I mean, her holds are good, but in general her neutral game is not really her friend. And I also try not to be like too predictable at this. It can be like sidestepped, or if it ends up like whiffing or anything, then you can be, depending on the character, you can get like kind of punished for it. So yeah, be careful with the booty. Like most grapplers, Tina's not really very good at fighting around range, so your focus is essentially trying to get in on your opponent. Alright, if you would like a poke move to use with Tina, I do recommend her 4K. Her 6-6K is also okay, but in the same patch that Tina received recently, this move is now like -10 on block, so it is a little riskier to use, but 4K is still a decent poke. And if you like another kind of get-in movie with her, you can use stuff like her 6-6 PP string. So you've got a launcher or low there, so that's 6-6 PPP. You can go for an air throw or 6-6 PP 2K, which gives you a free ground throw attempt. A move you can use to poke wish around mid-range is something like 3KP. You get a pretty good stun on hit. If the second hit connects, you're at +28, which would usually be enough to connect most launchers. If it gets blocked, you're only at -5, so it is a pretty safe poke. And the second hit is delayable. You could just do 3K also, which is the same as like PPK. And you see right there, it's got the same ender. So you can just do 3K or 3KP. You can delay it how you like. So you try and fish for that nice stun. And if you're feeling frisky, of course you can try and get in with the big booty. I know this is a big, gigantic, linear move, but I mean, but still though, if you can end up hitting it from a far enough range, you'll either be neutral or positive. So basically, just make the opponent have to account for your booty. Oh, and to complement 4K, you can also do that off of 6P, off your 13 frame elbow. So 6PK is basically the same thing, the same -5 on block, this pretty much the same stun. So with this, it comes, well, it's coming out of your elbow and you get a little more range because of the step forward. So you can either use 4K or 6PK. The main thing about using 4K is also that it's an instant high crush. So obviously 6PK only high crushes on the second hit. But there's a couple options you can use for kind of like mid-range poking. And apart from the booty, now the other main reason to play Tina, her throws. Tina is a grappler through and through. So that means she's got the ever so fast 4-frame neutral grab. So right there. So you can punish something that's as low as -5 on block and get 55 damage for it. Being a neutral throw, of course, the opponent can you press the throw button to perform a throw break, but that it's still good to get that you can get a guaranteed throw attempt at as little at -5. And being a grappler, of course, she has a 6-frame punish throw. Right there, it actually can do different damage based on the follow-up you do. So if you just do it normally, you get 58 damage. But if you hit back throw or 4-4-T during the small combo throw, then you can end up dealing 62 damage, which is pretty nice. And if you end up, well, not necessarily just smacking the booty, and if you do this in front of a wall, it just looks so badass. 72 damage for just chucking someone's ass into the wall just like that. And if they lay down, you can always go for a throw attempt if they don't tech roll right away. So, but I'll go over Tina's corner game a little later. For other throws, she's got an 8-frame throw, does 68 damage. So something that's like -9, as little as -9, can be punished for 68 damage. That's also pretty cool. To complement Tina's 6-frame throw, you can actually do 2T during the combo throw, and you get an alternate follow-up throw, which also deals 62 damage. So you can do either 6T, 2T, so 4 throw, down throw, or you can also go for 4 throw, back throw, and either way you keep the opponent close by, you get 62 damage. But you see the 4-4-T ends up switching sides. Tina also has another 8-frame throw, her 4-4-T right there. It leaves you at +11, so you can end up like, I don't know, going for like a mix-up or whatever right after it. But if you do the follow-up throw within the combo throw, then you get the 72 damage. Under most circumstances, I do usually, if you're going for this throw, I do recommend just getting down the throw fall, because the 72 damage for an 8-frame throw is really nice. And of course, that's even more on whether it's on counter throw, high counter throw, so that's always good. For Tina's 11-frame throw, hands down the recommended one is her While Rising 60. So you can do it, just has to be done from a crouching position. Although you can do like 3-3-T or just hold down down forward, so 3-3-T, then do 6-4-T. Then you end up getting this throw right here. But of course, if you end up getting it on a status other than normal, let's say high counter, and also you could buffer it from like, I like buffering it just from like a low or something like that. But if you do it from here, then you get this awesome looking throw and you deal a massive 136 damage. So even though this one is pretty much going to be just used for punishing whipped holds if you're like in a crouching position, but if you're in a stand-up position, then hands down for punishing holds, it's her 16-frame throw. Look at this, 132 on high counter. I mean, that's just decimation damage right there. And of course, if you do this bad boy at a wall, 148 damage. I mean, that's basically just smashing your opponent's hopes and dreams into one throw. Tina's other 11-frame throw is a combo throw. Alright, not that, but this right here. See, if you get all three parts, you get 110 damage in total. But honestly, with Tina and other grapplers, I generally don't like combo throws because these combo throws are breakable, and unlike Lisa or Bass, Tina doesn't have a combo throw that is unbreakable, that is your go-to. So with Tina, of course, I mean, if you're going for damage, then I mean, this throw's a bit slow. It's at 16 frames, but still, though, I mean, for punishing holds, I mean, you can nail this probably a bit more than you think. However, take note that if the opponent is being smart, they're going to be doing everything they can to not be holding out of your stuff to get hit by that throw. So you do have to kind of mix things up well, and basically just keep nailing them with the launches until they start holding that. Because I mean, just like this throw just destroys people's lives. And just like most grapplers, to complement Tina's throw game, she also has offensive holds. Your go-to 6-6T, and I'll just let you know, in the position that I was right there, you can get that guaranteed ground throw. Just to show you what I ended up doing. So, with her 16 frame offensive hold, the back, if the opponent has her back to their corner, do the 6-6T. Then go for the 2T right away, that's guaranteed. So if the opponent has their back to their corner, then right there you can set up 72 damage off of a 16 frame offensive hold, which is really good. In open space, you're too far away, but just a reminder when you have the opponent backed up that they'll basically be fearing that move. And at 16 frames, this is basically unreactable, so that's a good offensive hold. Other ones, Tina's got her jumping offensive hold. The main reason why you use this is, besides from the fact that the animation can throw off some people, the thing is that the only way to avoid that is you have to crouch. Like, you can't like sidestep or anything like that. You have to crouch and do your throw punish. It's a bit different from a stand-in throw where you just punish it with a throw, so jumping one's always nice. And for another offensive hold with Tina, this one here is her takedown. So back forward T. So you take a step back, you jump forward, and then you can get 50 damage just for taking down the opponent. There is a follow-up on this offensive hold, which is obviously recommended. So right here, just half circle forward T, and if the opponent has their back to a wall or anything, you just smack him into there and you end up getting 90 damage. What I usually recommend is just hovering around the edge of like let's say on someone's wake up, just outside the range of a wake up kick. You take a step back, cause it to whiff, then punish the opponent as they come up, then just chuck their ass into the wall, and whoa, you do like a lot of damage there. So yeah, that is a good offense hold. It can also be performed from a downed position, I think by pressing the throw button, but it's similar to like Mila's takedown, so you can basically surprise some people with that. And for another offensive hold for Tina, it's most commonly going to be after 4K. Just simply her 8T from back turn. See, this offensive hold is mainly used after you kind of conditioned your opponent. So after you do 4T, if you think they're going to do some sort of stand-in mashing or buttons, then you could use this to beat it out. So basically, for kind of like an idea of like the mix after 4K, if you could do a fast intercept with 7K. So if the 4K connects on hit, then the opponent's probably going to be looking out for something like back turn 4PP, for instance. So a common thing you can do is like 4K and either 7K or 4K then back turn 4PP, then you get your free 2T ground throw. But once the opponent doesn't want to get hit by that, and even then you can even just do like a single 6P and get plus 2, even though you're generally going to be using both of them. Once the opponent is expecting that, then you can try and sneak in this offensive hold right here. Naturally, being a grappler, Tina has a low offensive hold too. That'll be your 3T. 10 frame offensive hold gives you 48 damage. So I mean, it's pretty standard low offensive hold for grapplers. Tina also has 2 low throws, so 2T. Your 4 frame throw to punish -5. Oh, I forgot the follow-up. Press down and throw, and you get figure 4. Woo! But if you would like another more fancier non-2-part low throw, use the 3T. It's only 1 frame slower, 5 frame, and it deals 65 damage. So I mean, for people that like to mash low holds, because of course mash and low hold never goes out of favor, how much will this punish them for? So 5 frame low throw, and you even get a different animation, and you get 120 damage for telling the person, don't freaking low hold against me. Because of course, because you want the opponent to eat this one instead. And now for every Tina player's favorite throw. Shining Wizard. Smack the opponent at the wall there for 75 damage. Or if you were to, for instance, doing it. Oh wow, I got slammed the wall again. You just smack everyone. You kind of get the idea though. I mean, that's there. That was like a minimum distance run, 65 damage for this throw, so over 100 damage on high counter. So I mean, like, I mean, along with a big booty, if the opponent's expecting that, you can probably guess the alternative is your Shining Wizard. For another throw for Tina, she does also have a throw similar to Lisa from back turn. Right here, it's similar to Lisa's T. It's just simply grab your leg from under and you get your 58 damage. Under most circumstances, I prefer just going for this one. Being in the offensive hold, it'll beat out more things and you get 60 damage. So you basically only really go for this one if you know that the opponent's gonna like try and hold against you, and you take the 58 damage. But as I tend to get more mileage out of the jump and offensive hold evenness, and also the range is not really the greatest, so just go with which one you prefer. And of course, with Tina being a grappler, she has an air throw and ground throw. You see, anytime you get counter hit 3K, you can basically just go for that combo and just take the 68 damage on counter hit. The air throws can differ. Like, that was the 4T, so this is another air throw. And of course, it's just basically dependent on how you end up, on the position of the opponent can determine what throw you get. So when you do 3-3K, you see they have their face down, then that's the only time you can connect the 4Ts off of that launch. But off of like 3P, do 6PP, 6K, then the air throw will flip them over. You get 80 damage on counter hits. So, but there's different instances, and if I'm not mistaken, off of a high enough launch. Let me see if I can get it right. Yes, if you do half circle forward T, then you can get an air throw, but just simply doing the normal throws is okay too. I mean, you only get a little less damage, you just feel more of a badass when you do hit the giant swing. Tina's hold games actually is pretty decent. I mean, being a grappler, her generic holds do good damage. So right there is her high punch hold, leaves the opponent just close by. This is her mid punch hold, her arm drag. So you just switches sides to the opponent. This one's really good for when Tina has her back to a wall. See right there, just chucks the opponent back onto the wall. So especially with electrified wall or danger zone or anything, if Tina has her back to a wall, be careful with mid punches or you're just gonna break your back. And then there's some other ones like her mid kick hold. See, this one here does have a follow up. You see right there it says combo hold. So you just press down in guard or 2H and you end up getting that follow-up right there. And I think you can get a similar follow-up off of her high kick hold if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yeah, same follow-up. See right here you get the Texas Cloverleaf off of her high kick hold, which is pretty cool. To even augment this, Tina actually also has expert holds. Like she has an expert like mid kick hold, for instance. What it ends up doing, so it would be back forward H or 4-6 H. So what it does is it does good damage, and it also stop kicking me. It does good damage, and it also leaves you at a bit of frame advantage right there while the opponent has your back to you. So you can use that one as an alternative to going for this one. Although if you can always nail the two-part, then either hold is generally fine. Like, I think you get a little more for this one. And along with an expert high punch hold, that's just a normal high punch hold, Tina also has an expert, along with the expert mid kick hold, she also has an expert high punch hold, which is inputted with forward, up, back, or 6-7H. Right there ends up switching the sides. It is a two-part hold if you're gonna go for it. Oh jeez, Ione, let me relax so I can do this. And you see right there, it looks very similar to the 4-4 T throw. But honestly, for this though, it's just she still does monster damage if you end up hitting that on like high counter. So For the expert high punch hold, I generally don't recommend it that much because once if they end up going for a kick instead. So, but for the expert mid kick hold, you can practice that one if you like. If you prefer the setup where you kind of get the reset where the opponent's back turned and you get the good damage. But this, I mean, this one's kind of your choice for if you want to go for it or not. Tina can be pretty scary when she has her opponent back in the corner. I already showed you earlier that her offensive hold gives her a guaranteed down throw 2T throw attempt there for great damage. But if you'd like to like wall slam the opponent, then you can use stuff like a counter hit K, or you can just use her neutral K right there. You can also wall slam with like P plus K, which is just like 6 PPP plus, or 6 PPP. You can also wall slam with 6K or 3K for the small wall slam. There's also like, not that move. You can also wall slam with full crouch. Come on. With full crouch 3 PP, which is also a really good 12 frame mid punch that she has, but it can only be done from crouch. But it's still, just let you know, that's also a good move, just like her back turn 4 PP. But if you do wall slam the opponent, let's say with, I don't know, something like either, let's say like a K, they just use forward punch kick or 6 P plus K, same with P plus K. But if you wall slam someone with something slower like 6H plus K, the 6 PP won't connect. So in that case, use 6 PPP. Then what you actually can do after that is do forward throw, then down throw, and it sets the time in for a free ground throw if the opponent doesn't tech roll. So after 6 PPP, forward throw, then down throw, then you can end up getting in like a little Oki. That's the point of that right there, is to make sure that the opponent tech rolls every time, and then you can end up using different. You can basically end up pressuring the opponent normally after a tech roll. Basically, fishing for that stun with like 4 PP or 6 PP, and let you know the second hit of 6 PP tracks to help. So yeah, I mean, like, having ground throws is really nice. Alright guys, that's it for now. Alright, a nice perk about playing Tina, or if you're thinking of playing Tina, is you don't really need to get caught up with doing like really extensive or complex combos. Just doing something as simple as like just doing an air throw into a ground throw, for instance. Like, I mean, you get solid damage there, which is akin to like a typical combo from like most striker characters. So I mean, other things like forward punch, forward kick into air throw, so 6 PP, 6K is also nice. And of course, setting up your wrong move. Setting up your ground throw with like 6H plus K. You can also do like PKK, 6H plus K, ground throw. You get like solid damage from that. And of course, I mean, the opponents would rather get hit by that ground throw, or just basically just keep launching them until they end up, of course, start to hold, and you ruin their life. Anyways, if you have any further questions, feel free to contact me on my YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. So that means leaving a comment down below. You can also contact Force of Nature on freestepdodge.com. And also be sure to check out my other guides, the Top Tier Tips Advanced Guides. I'm more than halfway through them. And of course my other character guides, which I'm also more than halfway through. And if you'd like to support the channel, feel free to join Top Tier Fighters. The support does help, and I appreciate those that have joined. But anyways, this is Force of Nature signing off. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time on Top Tier Tips.